Welcome to the Shripriti Educational online classes. So today we are going to start a next lecture of UML. So let's get started. Generalization. Generalization can be defined as a relationship which connects a specialized element with a generalized element. It basically describes inheritance relationship in the world of object. ये क्या डिफाइन करता है? ये डिफाइन करता है एक इनहेरिटेंस रिलेशनशिप एंड इट कैन बी आल्सो डिफाइंड एज अ रिलेशनशिप which connect a specialized element with a generalized element के साथ. It basically describes inheritance relationship in the world of objects के साथ. जैसे कि this sign is used for generalization. Okay, this is used for the purpose of generalization. We will discuss it in detail also. So let's look. We can see that the three attributes name, phone and address are common. When we generalize these two entities, we form a new higher level entity type person. Okay, the new entity type form is a generalized entity. जो नया entity type form हुआ है उसको हम बोलेंगे is a generalized entity. We can see in the below ER diagram in the next slide that after generalization, this is okay. After the generalization, the new generalized entity type person. Here is the person, new entity type person. Person contain only the common attribute contain कर रहा है जैसे कि name, phone, address. Employee entity contain only the specialized attributes. जो employee है वो specialized attribute contain कर रहा है employee ID, salary. Similarly, customer entity type contain only specialized attributes like customer ID, credit and email. Credit, customer ID, email. Okay, so from this example, it is clear that when we go from bottom to top, it is a generalization, and when we go from top to bottom, it is a specialization. जब हम बॉटम से टॉप की तरफ जाएंगे तब जनरलाइजेशन कहा जाएगा और जब हम व्हेन वी गो फ्रॉम टॉप टू बॉटम आएंगे देन इट जाएंगे तो इट इज स्पेशलाइजेशन कहलाया जाएगा. Hence we can also say that the generalization is also the reverse process of स्पेशलाइजेशन. स्पेशलाइजेशन का रिवर्स प्रोसेस है. Generalization, as the name suggests, it is the process of generalizing two or more lower level entity types into a higher level entity type. ये जनरलाइज करता है दो या दो से ज्यादा लोअर लेवल एंटिटी टाइप को इनटू अ हायर लेवल एंटिटी टाइप में. To present a more generalized view, the entities are grouped together. Entities को ग्रुप कर दिया जाता है एक साथ to represent a more generalized view present करने के लिए. In this process, the common attributes of two or more entities combine together to form a new entity type. When two or more entities combine together in the process of generalization, which have the common attributes and form a new type of entity. The new entity type is formed is called as generalized entity. It may be possible that this generalized entity may combine further. It may also possible that the new entity that is formed from the generalization may also be combined in further with other entity type to form another higher level entity type. मतलब this is as a process of chain. जब हमने lower level दो या दो से ज़्यादा lower level entities को लिया and then when we combine it together to form a higher level entity. Now the higher level entity is also combined together to form a next another higher level entity. So this is a chain. It is a bottom up approach. It is also a reverse process of specialization. If you are taking an example of fish, fish can be fish. So whales, shark and dolphins can be generalized as a fish. इन सबको हम क्या कह सकते हैं? Generalize क्या किया हमने? ये सब fish है. Similarly, bicycle, बाइक एंड कार कैन बी जनरलाइज एज व्हीकल्स. इनको हम कैसे जनरलाइज करेंगे? दीज आर द व्हीकल्स. अनदर एग्जाम्पल इज red, green, blue can be generalized as colors. Consider an example. Suppose we have two entity types. One is employee and the another one is, 1 minute, just a second. Yeah, employee and customer. Suppose we have two entity types. One is employee and the another one is customer. And the attributes of employee are name, phone, salary, employee ID and address. So consider the entity type diagram here. Employee is entity and whose attributes are name, address, salary, employee ID, phone. Now we take another entity type, that is customer. Name, phone, address, credit, customer ID and email. Now we come on to the realization. Realization can be defined as a relationship in which two elements are connected, or we can say that two elements are associated. One element describes some responsibilities which is not implements. एक एलिमेंट डिफाइन करता है कुछ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज को, बट वो उसको इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं करता है, एंड द अदर वन इम्प्लीमेंट दैम, और जो दूसरा है वो उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करता है. दिस रिलेशनशिप एग्जिस्ट इन केस ऑफ इंटरफेस में एग्जिस्ट करता है कि किसी ने रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज तो एक एलिमेंट है, उससे रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज तो बता दी, डिस्क्राइब कर दी, बट उसको इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं किया, और उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करेगा अदर एलिमेंट. This type of relationship exists in case of interface. ये interface में रहता है. For the realization dot and then arrow diagram is used. Okay, so this type of diagram is used for specifying the realization and how one element describes some responsibilities and the other one takes the implement is used for the interface. Now we will look the third type, that is UML diagram. UML diagram are the ultimate output of entire discussion that we have done in our previous lecture. All the elements relationship are used to make a complete UML diagram, and the diagram represent a system. The visual effects of the UML diagram is the most important part of the entire process, because before designing any system we have to make a blueprint of the software system, how it works, how the data flow from one element to the one component to the another component. So UML is the language that is used to describe and used to make the blueprint of the software system. UML include the following 9 types of diagram. First one is a class diagram, second is object diagram, then the use case diagram, sequence diagram, collaboration diagram, activity diagram, state chart diagram, deployment diagram and the component diagram. UML architecture. क्या होता है UML architecture? जब हम किसी any real world system किसी सिस्टम को बना रहे होते हैं, so that is used by different user. Any real world system is used by different user. The users can be developer, tester, business people, analyst, and end users, naive users we can say. Or before designing a system, the architecture is made with different perspective in mind. The different type of perspectives in mind, keeping in the mind before designing any software system. The most important part is to visualize the system from different perspectives, and we can say that different viewers perspective, हमें different types of viewers के perspective से सोचना पड़ता है. Then we can visualize the system. The better we understand, the better we make the system. जितना ज़्यादा बेहतर हम समझेंगे, उतना ज़्यादा we better design the system. UML play an important role in defining different perspective of a system. जो UML play करता है एक important role in defining different perspective of a system. These perspectives are design, implementation, process, deployment. एंड द सेंटर इज द यूज केस व्यू. जब यूज केस व्यू हम यूज करते हैं, इसका सेंटर जो है विच इज अ यूज केस व्यू विच कनेक्ट ऑल दीज 4. ये सारी 4 जो प्रोसेसेस हमने यहाँ पे डिस्कस ये बताई हैं, design, implementation, process, deployment, use case. Use case view which connect all these four. A use case represent the functionality of the system, how the system work. So the other perspective are connected with use case. तो उसके जो other perspectives हैं use case के साथ connect हो जाते हैं. Now design. Design of a software system consists of classes, interfaces, and collaboration. UML provide class diagram to support this. Any type of system design consists of a classes, interfaces, and collaboration. UML provide class diagram to support this. इसके लिए to support this type of design, UML provide a class diagram. Then we come on to the implementation. So implementation defines the components assembled together to make a complete physical system. UML component diagram is used to support implementation perspective. जो UML component diagram है वो support करता है implementation perspective को, implement करता है, assemble करता है different types of components together to make a complete physical system बनाने के लिए. Process define the flow of the system, how the system objects work, कैसे work कर रहे हैं, how the elements interact with each other, कैसे interact कर रहे हैं एक दूसरे से. Previously I have shown you the diagram of the message कि arrow line is used for message passing के लिए use होता है. So the same element is as used in the design are also used to support this perspective. Deployment. When the system is to be designed, then we will come to the deployment. Deployment represent the physical node of the system that forms the hardware, जो कि hardware form करता है. UML provide deployment diagram to support this type of perspective. To support this type of perspective, UML provide करता है deployment diagram को. Thank you. So please stay safe at your home during coronavirus and don't forget to subscribe our channel and also press the bell icon for the latest updates. Thank you.